All right, good evening, everyone. Just like to welcome everyone to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting. I want to bring this meeting to order on this Tuesday, September 7th, 2021. It is now 4:30. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Commissioner Myers, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Myricks. Can we get a roll call then on tonight's commissioners?
Talmadge.
Present.
Soto Presley. Kasperky. Myricks.
Here.
Poppridge.
Here, for the record, we have 4 present tonight with 1 absent. Okay, number 2, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 3, communications.
Commissioner, one was received a letter from Estela Cervantes regarding an HRC property at 622 Sibley Street, and it was included in the packet.
Okay, just for the record, yeah, we did receive it, and we'll just refer this to staff, then we don't really need a motion on this. Thank you. All right, number 4 is our minutes dating July 20th, 2021 and August 17th, 2021.
Mr. President, in reviewing the minutes of both July 20th, 2021 and August 17th, 2021, I saw a couple errors I want to point out. On page 3, item number 10, it shows motion show 4 yes, 1 absent. Motion carried, but it's actually 3 yes, 2 absent. Then also on the same page, under bills, item 12, it shows motion showed 4 yes, 1 absent, but it's actually 3 yes, 2 absent. And on the one for August 17th, on the first page, it showed under number 5 minutes on the roll call, it shows that we had 2 absent, but then it says motion showed 4 yes, 1 absent, and we actually had 3 yeses, 2 absents. I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes once we make the necessary corrections.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Myricks, second by Mr. Talmadge on the corrections on the minutes. First one is July 20th, 2021 minutes. Number 10 should have been 3 yes, 2 absent. And number 12 had 3 yes, 2 absent. And then August 17th, under the minutes there, should have been 3 yes with 2 absent. Thank you for those corrections. Is there any additional questions on these minutes? Okay, then roll call.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Kasperky. Myricks.
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 5 is our subordination request approval.
Hi, we have one subordination request. Ms. Julissa is refinancing to receive a lower interest rate and a shorter term on her mortgage, and she's here.
Okay, welcome. Just have her come forward there to the podium.
Okay. Mr. President, I don't have any questions. I noticed that she's refinancing. She's dropping her rate by 2 3/4%. She's also cutting down the term for 30 years to 15. So I think that's a great thing for her to do. I wish I could have did that about 15 years ago myself, but oh well. I don't know if anyone else has any questions, but
No, it looks good. I read over it.
well, with that, Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval for the subordination request, approval for applicant, and I'm not gonna try and pronounce your name, 3009 Parkway North.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomich. That's for the subordination request approval. I was going to say Ms. Serrano at 3009 Parkway North. Can we have a roll call then, please?
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky, Myrick,
Yes.
Hopper.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Can you ask for the purposes of Zoom, if they're not speaking, if they can mute? Because the recording is gonna be a little different.
Okay, number 6 is Emergency Program Commission notification for the record. It's LaFonda Witten, 7204 McLaughlin.
So yes, this one is a little different because usually we have already performed the work. On this one, we have not due to her needing a central air unit and also a furnace. So her furnace that she currently has cannot support receiving a new central air unit, so she needs both. And then with our emergency, we give up to $5,000. The balance will be paid by Ms. Witten.
Okay.
I read your doctor's request, and I think that we need to make sure this gets approved for you. So I make a motion, Mr. President, to approve the emergency program for LaFonda Witten in the amount of $5,000 to get her air conditioner repaired at 7204 McLaughlin.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Tomich and second by Commissioner Soto Presley. That's for the Emergency Program Commission notification. For the record, that is for LaFonda Witten at 7204 McLaughlin. Let's have a roll call, please.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky, Myrick,
Yes.
Hopper.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay cool and warm in the winter. Okay, number 7 is approval of contract for business consulting strategies and training for small business in Hammond, Indiana.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find information regarding the approval for a consulting strategies and training for small businesses in Hammond, Indiana. On the Zoom call, we have the Director of Economic Development, Ann Anderson, to discuss this program and why approval is needed today for this.
Okay, welcome, Ann. Can you hear us?
I can you hear me?
Yes.
I just logged on. Do you need me for something right now?
So what I'll do is I'll give a little information about the class. This is a class that has been approved before. As you know, the Department of Planning and Development receives funding from the Community Development Block Grant. A portion of that is used for economic development, and there's a program that's funded through Community Development Block Grant dollars for small businesses. And the purpose of this contract is for a consultant that will actually teach the class to small business owners.
That's correct. This program is run out of our office. This would be the 4th session that we have developed in the past
Seems like it's been working.
Anyone have any questions?
No,
It seems like it's been working in the past, so I have no objections.
It has.
Mr. President, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of contract for business consulting, strategies, and training for small businesses in Hammond, Indiana.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomage. That's for the approval of contract business consulting strategies and training for small business in Hammond, Indiana. Can we have a roll call, please?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky, Myrick,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes, 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 8's approval of proposal for emergency unlocking devices for elevator at 5246 Holman Avenue.
Members of the commission, we have Jen Bussey, Executive Director of the Hammond Development Corporation, on the Zoom call to discuss this agenda item. You're still muted, Jen.
There.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, welcome.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry about that. We've got some technical difficulties here. What you're looking at is, this is the third part of the elevator process that's been going on the last couple months. This elevator is over 100 years old and is original to the building. It needs to have a safety latch installed in the frame elevator portion, because at the present moment, if anyone was to get stuck in between the floors, there's no way out of the elevator. They can't get you out, there's no hatch, there's no way to open the doors. You're pretty much stuck there until they break the doors open. So this would be a safety latch. It's fairly simple. It would be installed on every single door that would be opening at each level of the building. And then this would make it safe enough for us to then have the elevator testing finished, and they will get their licenses back up and running, and then full elevator will be completely safe.
Sounds good.
Any questions?
No. Safety is always first in my book.
Mr. President, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion for the approval of proposal for emergency unlocking devices for elevators at 5246 Holman Avenue.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Tomage, second by Commissioner Soto Presley. That's for the approval proposal for emergency unlocking devices for elevator at 5246 Holman Avenue. Can we have a roll call, please?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky, Myrick,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes, 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 9 is approval of agreement between owner and contractor for construction contract for Windridge Park and Jacob Square.
So members of the commission, if you look in your package, you'll find information regarding the contract for Windridge Park. You previously received it at a previous meeting for review prior to this meeting. I do have Jim Talon on the call to discuss the park and the actual park project if you have any questions. But as you can see, item number 9 is for the approval and of the agreement, and our item number 10 is for the approval of notice to proceed. We're very excited. This is a small park that will be located in the Jacob Square area. So as I stated before, we're very excited because it's going to be a transformative effect for the total lump, for the total lump sum, that's an important fact. The total lump sum is for $235,500. So I believe that's an important factor in your decision-making as well. But we're very excited about this. This project will be completely funded by Community Development Block Grant dollars. So as I stated before, we do have the park administrator, Jim Talon, on the Zoom call. And at this time, if you would like, Jim, you can discuss the park or say anything you would like to say about the park project.
Hi, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
How you doing? I don't really have any questions, but if you want to just give us a brief overview of the project, that would be nice.
Sure. As as actress said, it's a little pocket park in Jacob Square. It's going to have some playground equipment with a slide. It's going to have some shade structures in there, some seating and tables for games to be played up in there. And the park department is going to be providing trees for the park itself. So we'll have most of it in a shaded area.
Yeah, we're excited about this. Yeah.
Nice little enhancement in that pocket of the city.
Definitely.
And I just got the permit for today, the application, so once we have the go-ahead, I can process the permit right away, so.
Okay, good to know. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Excellent.
Very good. Sounds like it's moving along.
Mr. President, if there's no further questions or discussion, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of agreement between owner and contractor for construction contract for Windridge Park at Jacob Square.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomage. That's the approval of agreement between owner and contractor for construction contract for Windridge Park at Jacob Square. Can we get a roll call?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky, Myrick,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes. 4 yes, 1 absent. Number 10 is approval of notice to proceed for Windridge Park at Jacob Square.
So number 10 goes with number 9 as far as the approval of the contract and notice to proceed.
Okay, Mr. President, if there's no further questions or discussion, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of notice to proceed for Windridge Park at Jacob Square.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomage. Then can we get a roll call on that, please?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky, Myrick,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes. 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, brings us to number 11, approval of supplemental agreement. Number 3, downtown parking and pedestrian enhancement study.
Members of the commission, if you'd like to, if you look in your package, you will find an supplemental agreement number 3 for the downtown parking and pedestrian enhancement study. At this time, we have the city engineer, Dean Budden, here to answer any questions and give further information regarding this agenda item.
Good evening to the commission. Nice to see you all this evening.
As well.
You as well.
So this is your third amendment to a pedestrian and parking study that we're doing in downtown. The first step before Jeff Speck was hired to do a downtown study, we were just simply going to review what parking needs we needed and try to do a pedestrian enhancement study. After that time, the city had employed Jeff Speck to do a master plan of downtown, and so it's evolved over time. The initial study, we looked at how parking behaviors were occurring. We noticed that workers at the retail outlets were parking all day on the street in front of the building rather than in their longer term lots. So there were some recommendations that were made at that time as part of that study, but it's evolved since Jeff had come together and asked us to do some improvements to that. In this case, this is the commission may know that we are currently working on a project with the designer's American Structure Point to improve Hammond Avenue between Sibley and Russell Street. It's about a $5.5 million project. The approaches to those streets have been included in the master plan, and some of that work was done in the previous supplements to this project. The Russell Street, for example, is going to become two-way between Holman and Lyman, or where the train station will be eventually downtown, and other areas. The problem that we've come across that we didn't envision in the earlier request was the north approach, or we'll call it the southbound traffic on Holman Avenue coming off the bridge down to Sibley, right? that's a predominant truck route, right? Home and right turn to Sibley into Illinois is a designated truck route. That we could not accomplish that design under the previously approved agreements, expansions. We are now looking at widening the curb line along the southbound side or the west curb line. We need to widen that to accommodate the truck turning, and we're really trying to prevent moving if you could picture with me, the eastbound left turn too far back from Hammond, right? Sibley eastbound, you're basically facing towards the church and the parking garage. As you're making a left turn onto Hammond, because the truck movement turned so wide, we're having to move that left turn lane so far back to accommodate that turn that we're going to widen the southbound lanes in order to bring that turn lane up closer. And so it's kind of complicated, but that's what the $15,000 request is, to expand to First Group Engineering to accommodate that additional turn movement that wasn't originally contemplated. So we're going to have to move traffic signal cabinets and extend the curb and do some right-of-way work. It's actually pretty reasonable fee in considering all the work that needs to be done there. And so I'd ask for your approval and take any questions that you might have at this time.
I don't have any questions, but I can picture this in my mind's eye, so I really get it, so it makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's the comment I had. For that turn of radius to back up that other lane makes a lot of sense for the truck to make that turn because without that, then cars would be backing up all the time to accommodate.
Well, they kind of are now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're like that now. If a truck's making a left turn onto Hammond from eastbound Sibley, it's bad, but it's bad both directions. And so we're trying to alleviate that. And the downtown master plan contemplates pushing everyone over to state line there, right? So that movement is going to be real important for people who want to bypass the downtown. We want to, if you want to slow down and go through downtown, you're welcome to. But if you don't want to do that, turn right onto Sibley and left onto State Line, and you can bypass the downtown if that's what you're looking to do. And it's a really cool project. That Hammond Avenue, we're going to have an unveiling, later this week, right, on Thursday.
5:30.
About really what that all looks like, and it's quite impressive. I mean, I'm not doing any of the work, so I think I can say, but I have had a hand in kind of just working through it, and it's very impressive what we're talking about doing in downtown.
Nice.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, City Engineer Button.
Welcome.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of supplemental agreement number 3 for downtown parking and pedestrian enhancement study.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Soto Presley, a second by Commissioner Tomage. That's for the approval of supplemental agreement number 3, downtown parking and pedestrian enhancement study. Let's have a roll call, please.
Tomage,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casbricky, Myricks,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes with 4 yes and 1 absent.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Number 12 is approval of grant agreements between Intermission and the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for case management and other essential services.
Members of the commission, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Commissioner, the city of Hammond's rental assistance program is in full swing. HUD recommended that we get some technical assistance. During most of our meetings, we discussed how to move forward with our rental assistance program. They wanted to make sure that all of our clients that we serve have the essential
Okay. Anybody have?
All we have is approval for the grant agreement between the Redevelopment Commission and the Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myricks, seconded by Commissioner Tolman. Let's have a roll call then, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey, Myricks,
Yes.
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 13 is authorization to advertise for CDBG and Choto and ESG funding for the fiscal year 2022 to 2023.
Commissioners, we are in the process of preparing our annual consolidated / action plan for our CPG, ESG, and charter. This is just our annual request to advertise to receive applications from social service agencies.
Mr. President, I make a motion to authorize to advertise for CDBG, CHDO, and ESG funding for the fiscal year 2022-2023.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Tomage, second by Commissioner Myricks. That's for the authorization to advertise for CDBG and Choto and ESG funding for fiscal year of 2022-2023. Can we have a roll call, please?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey, Myricks,
Yes.
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Number 14 is authorization to advertise for professional services. It's
Commissioners, this is about another annual request to advertise for professional services, consolidated plan consultant, appraisers, environmental consultant, financial consultant, housing services consultant, IDIS / HUD consultant, as well as the attorney, redevelopment attorney.
Mr. President, I make a request for the approval of the authorization of to advertise for professional services. What? Oh, consolidated plan consultants, appraisers, environmental consultants, financial consultants, housing services consultant, IDIS HUD consultant, and the attorney.
Second.
okay. We have a motion then by Commissioner Tomage, seconded by Commissioner Myricks. That's the authorization to advertise for the professional services as listed. That's consolidated plan consultant, appraisers, environmental consultants, financial consultants, housing services consultant, IDIS / HUD consultant, and attorney. Can we get a roll call then, please?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey, Myricks,
Yes.
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes with 1 absent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. We have number 15 now is approval of voluntary remediation agreement for the former Premier Candy Company.
So members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find a copy of the voluntary remediation agreement. It's for the former Premier Candy Company located at 628 Hoffman Street. As you're aware, this property is owned by the Redevelopment Commission, and we've had several people that have been interested over the years, but we have a very interested prospect now. And we're actually in the process of finalizing a development agreement for your consideration at a future date. One of the things that is necessary for the development of that site is for some remediation to take place. So what you have in your packet is an agreement for the voluntary remediation of that site. We are working with Zach from Americo, and he is on the Zoom call. whereas he could give you additional information about that. But this is one of the first steps that we can take to actually sell this property and make it a developable piece of property. So Zach, I don't know if you wanted to add any information at this time.
Oh, thanks for asking. Thanks, Africa. Right now, we're just, this agreement is to enter into the program to work with the project manager to get towards closure. So there's nothing really information-wise to distribute yet.
So, and the cost is $26,000?
Yes, I keep forgetting that. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the cost of things is $26,000.
And
Okey-doke. Mr. President, if there's no further questions or, man, I'm brain dead. Discussion, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the voluntary remediation agreement for the former Premier Candy Company.
second,
Okay, we have a motion then by Commissioner Myricks, seconded by Commissioner Tomich. That's for the approval of voluntary remediation agreement for the former Premier Candy Company. So roll call, please.
Talmadge.
yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Casperkey. Myricks.
Yes.
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes, 4 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 16, approval agreement for services between the City of Hammond and Speck and Associates LLC.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find an agreement for services between the City of Hammond and Speck and Associate LLC. As you are aware, and the city engineer has stated, we're working very closely with Jeff Speck and Speck and Associates LLC. They were the ones that we worked with initially for the downtown plan, and things are really, we're getting additional momentum at this time. This contract will help to extend their services with additional information that we may need at this time.
You know, I think back about the first time we discussed this Jeff Speck thing, you know, in the very beginning, and it was ironic because when we first looked at the cost, all 5 of us were like, no. But then we did our research, we did our due diligence, and we saw what they brought to other communities, and we were like, oh, wow, this is something we really, really need to do. So I'm just saying that to say I'm willing to do this. I think we should do it, and I thank God that we took the time in the past to do our due diligence to make sure that we did retain the Jeff Speck company for this.
Well, we do have the Director of Economic Development, Ann Anderson, on the call, and I know she's been working very close with him, as well as some developers that will, some developers for the downtown area. We just want to make sure things really follow the plan as closely as possible, but at this time, I'll let her say any statements that she has or any comments that she may have regarding this contract.
Yes, thank you, Africa. Thank you, Commissioner. So, as you know, Jeff Speck did create and deliver our recent master plan. And now that we do have momentum, like Africa noted, we are beginning to work with residential developers and the redesign of Hammond Avenue. So we have all these projects lined up to start breaking ground very soon. And we want to retain Jeff Speck's input on these projects. So that's why we would like to retain them on a consultant level at this point. And that way Jeff can join our meetings and he can review site plans and renderings and give his input to ensure that these developers and these engineering companies are doing the best they can to follow suit in the vision of our downtown. So I think this continuing relationship with Speck and Associates is a very good idea.
I agree.
Any questions?
No, my comment too is just kind of a follow-up with Commissioner Myricks. When I first met Mr. Speck and the presentation at the Toll Theater was unbelievable to see all that and hear from him. So.
I agree. It's been a very fruitful relationship so far, and we look forward to continuing.
Mr. President, if there's no further discussion or questions, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of agreement for services between the City of Hammond and Speck and Associates LLC.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myricks, seconded by Commissioner Tomage. That's for the approval agreement for services between the City of Hammond and Speck and Associates LLC. Roll call, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
yes,
Kasperky, Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes. 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 17, determination of compliance with the redevelopment plan for the Marina redevelopment area for 2450. That's New York Avenue, student housing, Calumet College.
Mr. President, couldn't go a whole meeting without talking. So you're going to think that this is like deja vu all over again, right?
It is.
For a couple of reasons. Number one, last meeting, you approved and gave authorization to proceed with the kind of zoning issues, I'll call them generally, even though the property hadn't been transferred yet. So tonight's determination of compliance with the Marina District area. My recollection was that back 5 or 6 years ago when this project first was brought up, that we had approved it as being in compliance. We were looking for the record of that, and I think you did approve it, but this project that's now being proposed is slightly different, but not substantively different. And what I mean by that is that the financing mechanism they're using is a little bit different, but it's still the same residential housing. The address has changed to 2450, which is a result of some replatting. So for purposes of the record, and I don't mean to steal anybody's thunder that wants to get up and talk, but for purposes of the record, this is the same essential deal that we had before, and I think in 2 weeks, and if not in 2 weeks, then the first meeting in October for sure, you're going to have the development agreement with the updated dates that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. So Cal College is going to be on your agenda. It was on last meeting. It's going to be on this meeting and hopefully again next meeting. Slightly different parts of the process, but it's all part of the same process that, we talked about 4 or 5 years ago, and also that we talked about last week. So I think, Mr. Poland's written a new letter, and I know Tom is dying to tell you what's in that letter. I think you can just skip to the recommendation part myself, but, and I know there's representatives of the college here that may want to add something or not, but I'll leave that to them.
I mean, I'm happy to. So I'm John. Pardon me? Yeah, I came all this way down to Johnny Craig. I'm Senior Vice President for Enrollment, Marketing, and Athletics. Dr. Amy McCormick does send her regrets that she was not able to attend. But since you so eloquently put forward what we're discussing anyways, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions. But I would like to say, this is a transformational opportunity for CCSJ. We've been a commuter college really since our inception, serving the region, and we will continue to do so. But really, in order for us to grow and sustain our growth in the way we want to, and to attract students from a wider swath than just our backyard and where you can throw a stone, without relying on rental properties and trying to find housing for students. This is a wonderful opportunity for the school. We think when the school succeeds, the surrounding community is going to succeed. This is definitely in line with the goals set forth by the commission, and we're just really excited about it.
And I would just note that I know the Port Authority, who's been involved in the development there, has supportive of this project. I also, after Tom's done, I see the councilman for this area is in the audience, and I didn't know if he wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, I was going to invite him up next.
No, I don't want to hold him up, so I think it's a great idea.
Go ahead, Tom, you can talk.
Okay.
We'll
So, as Dave was saying, I'll just read the recommendation, not get into the nitty-gritty here, but, You guys should have the letter in your packet. The proposed Calumet College development follows the general provisions of the redevelopment plan documents governing the marina development area. Staff recommends that the Redevelopment Commission make a determination that the proposed Calumet College master plan for the site, as well as the first phase of the student housing, building, and playing field, are compliant with the applicable redevelopment plans for the Marina Redevelopment District, subject to two items. One, final engineering and technical review by applicable city departments, and two, approval of the revised development agreement. So.
You want to let him speak before we make the motion?
You want to see if Mark wants to say anything?
Yeah, we'll let Councilman from the First District, Mark Kowinski, if you'd like some thoughts and comments.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
This is an exciting opportunity for not only the college, but for the First District and the city of Hammond. What's good for the college is good for the city. Expansion of the college is potentially going to happen with the dorm being built and the sports field being available, and also having the field there is also a cushion between a dorm and residential, and I think that's always a good idea. I see this as good for business, for restaurants, for the shops on 119th, and beyond that. So as an alumnus to the college, I'm really excited about the prospects of this happening and growth, just as we had growth at Purdue when we built dorms there. That took off. That was good for Purdue. It was also good for the city of Hammond, and I likewise think that this will happen in this fashion for Cal College and the city of Hammond too. Thank you for supporting this.
I agree, Councilman. I live in the Purdue-Woodmar area, and that college there, the real estate value of those homes and businesses that are around there is, so I feel the same thing will happen here up north. So it's great the city of Hammond has two colleges in our city like this anyway, so we look forward to seeing this project get underway then. Okay, would anybody like to entertain a motion on that then?
Mr.
Mr.
President.
President, I'd like to make a motion for the determination of compliance with the redevelopment plan for the Marina Development Area for 2450 New York Avenue, student housing, Calumet College.
Subject to.
Can you add the subject to?
Excuse me?
Can you add the subject to on the second page at the bottom? It's on the bottom of the second page, the recommendation that Tom read. You can just read the two bullet points there, subject to.
I'm sorry, I can't find it on my notes.
So,
Would somebody else like to make the motion? I'll second it.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. President, I make the approval, I motion to make the approval for the determination of compliance with the redevelopment plan for the Marina redevelopment area for 2450 New York Student Housing, Calumet College, subject to the final engineering and technical review by applicable city departments and approval of the revised development agreement.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Tomage and a second by Commissioner Soto Presley. Can we get a roll call then, please?
Talmadge?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Kasperky? Myrick?
Yes.
Hopridge?
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 18 is our reports. Ms. Africa Tarver, would you like to share anything tonight, or?
Yes, I would. I actually have two events that I would like to invite the commission to, as well as let the public know. This Thursday, September 9th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. I would like to invite you to the public presentation and question and answers of transforming the downtown Hammond Avenue redesign project. This is open to the public, and because Hammond is committed to revitalizing its downtown core, they will show these designs will add walkability and vibrancy to the downtown Hammond area, as stated by the city engineer as well as the director of economic development. This is in continuation with the master plan as designed by Jeff Speck. So this is a really exciting time where you'll be able to see what the Hammond Avenue redesign will look like for the first time. So I would like to invite everyone in the commission as well as the general public out. We also, oh, I'm sorry, it will be at the Hub of Innovation the lobby at 5233 Hammond Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Yes.
Okay.
5233, the Hub of Innovation, right in downtown. Also, a week later, Thursday, September 16th, is the City of Hammond's 17th Annual Job Fair from 11 to 3 p.m. Bring your resume and look sharp. Are you looking for a job? It will be Thursday, September 16th from 11 to 3. And it looks like it will be at 5825 Soul Avenue at the Hammond Civic Center. You'll get the opportunity to connect with local businesses, and we have special thanks to our sponsors, Alverna Labs, Applied Acoustics International, Calumet Breweries, as well as Dungarvan. So we're really excited about this. This is always a very successful event, especially in light of the pandemic. This is our effort to reach out to some people that may have been negatively affected by the pandemic, either those people that are unemployed or underemployed. So this is always a really good event, but especially in times such as this. So please spread the word about that. And if you have the opportunity, please join us on Thursday evening for the downtown Hammond Avenue redesign project. And that is all I have at this time.
All right, thank you. Two great announcements. Anybody else have anything to report on? Okay. Number 19 is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the register of claims August 9th, 2021 through September 3rd, 2021. Register of claims R60312 through R60407 inclusive.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion then and a second. That's for the register of claims, August 9th, 2021 through September 3rd, 2021. That's claim R60312 through claim R60407. Is there any questions on these claims for staff? Okay, since there is none, then let's have a roll call then on the claims.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Kasperky. Myricks.
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Number 20 is new and unfinished business.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Number 21 is public comment. Public comment is open. Anybody like to come forward? You may do so now. You have 3 minutes to speak. Welcome, sir.
Hi. My name is David Pustek, and I live on New York Avenue. Okay? And my preference was to send a message to you guys, an email message, but the gohammond.com site that you have gives no contact information at all. So I'm forced to come here and read my message to you. I would hope that you would consider improving that site so that we could easily send a message and let you know what the public thinks or the residents think. Appreciate that. I was very surprised at item 17 that you're allowing the college to reclaim the property on New York Avenue. Very surprised at that. Very surprised. Please recall that the property at addresses 2450 and 2512 New York was donated to the college. The college either leased or sold this property that eventually got abandoned. Hammond took over the property and demolished the buildings at a cost of $800,000. $800,000. Calumet College pays no property tax. Mr. President, can I have his attention?
I'm paying attention.
Okay, I'm just
They pay
saying.
no property taxes, we know this. Right, I was actually looking at your Go Hammond site, because I think there is a spot to send an email, but go
There
ahead.
isn't. I looked. I tried.
Go ahead, sir.
So Calumet College pays no state taxes, and they pay no property taxes. So unless the purchase price is in the millions, there would be no return on that $800,000 investment that the city, the residents, and the neighbors made. There needs to be a presentation justifying the benefits to Hammond, residents, and the neighbors. Because I don't see any benefits financially. There are two properties north of Calumet College. The property right next door has been vacant for as long as I can remember. I'm 66. I've always lived on New York Avenue, and so I know the history of this property. I'm a witness to the history of this property. And that huge parcel of land of 2,300, is maintained by the college in front. So I don't know if they own it or not, but they do maintain the ground maintenance on the property before that. Okay. So that should be looked at, because I think that would be suitable to develop. And that would be the first time this property is being developed. So that would be a big plus. And going to this property achieves the same benefits as the councilman says, the indirect benefits. But excuse me. One of the things that should happen with this property on New York Avenue is that the developer should be awarded that is a revenue-generating developer and a property tax-paying developer. We've got to recover this $800,000. I'm just appalled by that. The next thing I want to talk about, again, it's on the property of 2415, 2512. I live right across the street from there. The Port Authority does a poor job in the ground maintenance. I don't know your authority or your responsibility to the property under redevelopment, but when the intervals of cutting the grass is more than 6 weeks, the site is, what do they call it, blighted? It's just unsightly. Okay. Now, sometimes they use a lawn maintenance service too, but they even do a worse job, in trying to keep that property up. Okay, now I have repeatedly since May tried to communicate to the city to clean up this property. Branches fall on the ground. When they mow the grass, they go around it, so the grass isn't cut. The grass is a foot or more high, so they only do one pass, so it doesn't even look like the grass has even been cut. Okay.
Yeah, just add one thing. We do have the app 311. You could have contacted probably.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Getting there. I submitted C-Click fixes, the 311 tickets to no avail. I sent a message to the community development. I sent a message to the economic development. No response. And I sent one message to the mayor's office and then 3 additional follow-up messages to the mayor's office with no response. Councilwoman Vanez suggested that I contact Africa Tarver. And I did. I sent a message. No response at all. I don't know what's going on. So I gave up, and I hope I'm not reaching my 3 minutes, but I gave up. So I decided to clean the property myself. And just so you know, I'm using a little walk-behind mower that took me 6 hours to mow, just to mow the lawn, not trimming the trees, not edging the sidewalks, not pulling out all the weeds from the growth of the sidewalk. It was just 6 hours, and that's a lot. It's more than a half acre. No, I'm sorry, it's more than an acre and a half of land that I do. I only do half of 2512 because that's the property that I see from my porch. And again, I just don't like eyesores, so I did it. The first district supervisor saw what I was doing, so he helped. He was able to scoop up and collect all the debris piles that I created. He picked up all the branches that I cut from the trees because, if the branches are low, then you can't cut, underneath. So they have to be cut up so you can cut the grass underneath. And he also pulled out 2 tree stumps. So I was really appreciative of him. I was hoping that only doing half of the property, that the Port Authority would see what the property should look like, nicely manicured, and that they would repeat it. No. On that side, it is now in its 7th week of not cutting the grass. So, again, I don't know your authority or your responsibility, but if you can do something, I'd appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time.
And again, take a tour of the Hammond property in Robertsville right now. The grass is all overgrown. It's by the Pavilion, Wolf Lake, Forsyth Park, the Clark Sports Field, that huge field that they have now taken over, 129th Street and New York Avenue. I don't know what's going on with the Port Authority, whether, it's, staffing issues, whether it's funding, whether it's, whether it's management. I don't know. But something needs to be done with this.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, I do like doing and cleaning this lawn because it gives me a good exercise. I've lost 20 pounds, so I'm kind of thrilled with that. So, that's all my comments.
All right, well, I thank you for taking the time and effort to come here. The first part of, I'll just say that contact information is on the website on the top and bottom of the page, so just kind of look.
An email?
Yeah, where you could have. Right.
So on that Go Hammond site, and that's what I was looking at, was if you go to the home page at the top, it's got home departments, quick links, news, document center, calendar, and then contact us. If you click contact us, the email information pops up, and you can actually choose the department that you want your email to go to. And the redevelopment, Hammond redevelopment is part of that? Because they're buried, in the site. Well, see, and I did. I sent the message to economic development. Yeah, I'd have to go through. No response. So, and that part, right, like I can't, obviously, we should respond. But I did think it was on there, and that's when you said that, it surprised me that you couldn't find it, so that's why I was looking at that. With regard to the maintenance out there, we'll certainly get that message to Mylan Krasinski and make him aware. I know he wouldn't be, knowing him, he would not be happy to hear that. I'm sure he's heard it since May, because like I said, I have been voicing my concern. I'm sure the messages that I sent to the mayor were sent directly to him. And again, as soon as they do a see-click fix, they're out there to do it. But then again, it's more than a month's interval that I do this. And I guess with regard to the maintenance, when and if the property is transferred to the college, the one thing I didn't hear was any negative comment about the college's maintenance of their grounds. So they'll be responsible for maintaining once they start building and take possession. So hopefully that'll help that. So will a revenue-generating property tax-paying entity will do the same thing? I wish UniFirst, is it UniFirst? I wish they would have moved there. So I'm so happy. All I will say, and I think your history lesson on the property was generally correct. Without going into all the years, I think it was accurate. But I will say, we have tried to put that property out for all businesses, whether they be property tax generating businesses or exempt businesses like the college. The only one that's expressed interest in that property, quite frankly, was the college. So, certainly there's a policy-based decision to be made there. I understand your argument about it would be better to have a private business, and a property tax generator there. You'd probably also have, there's other things that come along with that. So there's, I think, from the standpoint, as the councilman indicated, that there are good policy decisions behind the decision to transfer that property to the college.
It can easily be done with the property north of the college. Easily be done.
Well, so that is not, it's not owned by the city, it's,
Owned by the college, I think.
no, I was talking about the woodlands and things like that, the north.
Yeah, I'd have to pull it up on the GIS to know.
A lot of that goes back to the federated metal sites and issues we have with that, it's not as easily developable as this thing.
But appreciate your comments, and I understand the arguments relative to property tax-paying entities.
Especially you being a resident there on New York.
And one last comment. I know this is really insignificant, and Hammond is not very good at, they're not very friendly with wildlife and the wildlife habitat. But since this property has been idle for so long, deer families have taken residence in the wooded areas on the property. The property is also visited nightly, throughout the night, from deers coming from the golf course, coming from the north side of George Lake. So consideration has to be made by the developers to what they're going to do with these animals. Because what happened before was that when they built the golf course and the new housing on New York Avenue, and then they destroyed the building, a barrier was gone, and the deers came into our neighborhood. The deers ate our bushes, the deers ate our tree branches, our plants, our flowers, and again, no help from Hammond. And a lot of the animals we had to remove on our own, which was very expensive, getting the raccoons out of our chimneys, getting all of that. But I don't want to see a repeat of that, because the way that the residents solved it was to feed the deer on this property, on the 2512 and 2450. That kept them on the side of New York, and they didn't come into the neighborhood. Once you start doing development and disrupting the area, they're going to come into the neighborhood. We're going to have the same problem.
If they developed to the north, you would have that problem in reverse.
Deers are in
Then
the
you
north.
have to tear down the woods and things like that.
Deers are not there.
I'm sure the college will be a willing listener to those concerns. In fact, more accepting of those kind of comments. And quite frankly, one of the reasons that it's nice that we have the open space that they're going to leave, as opposed to if a private developer came in there, they would be looking for the most bang for their buck, right? So you would be developing every square inch of that thing.
That's right.
So I think at least there's a chance now, assuming, and we're a meeting or two away from it, but assuming the developer is the college, to at least have those discussions. So I thank you for raising those concerns.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I went over 3 minutes, sorry.
Yes, you did.
That's okay. I respect your comments. All right. Does anybody else want to speak? Public comment is still open. If anybody's on Zoom, you may speak too now. Okay, then public comment is closed. Number 22, then, can we get a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.